Welcome, dear students. The current session focuses on pragmatics and historical development of a language. I hope and expect by the end of this session you would be able to understand what does the term pragmatics mean and how it is significant to study pragmatics with reference to the development of a language. Well, my dear students, at the outset, we need to think about a couple of questions. The first thing that we need to consider is, what is pragmatics? And then we need to relate it to the second question, that is, how do pragmatic meanings change? Well, pragmatics, if I define it, I can say, is a subfield of linguistics that studies the ways in which context contributes towards the creation of meaning. Well, I would like to make it clear that when we study the meaning of a word in any language, it can be studied from two perspectives. One is semantic perspective, the other is pragmatic perspective. Semantics would focus on the literal meaning of a word, whereas pragmatics would focus on the practical meaning of a word or the meaning of a word in a context, or in other words, the meaning that is intended by the speaker who is using that particular word. This also leads us to the kind of conclusion that semantics deals with the transmission of meaning depending upon the structures and, having the linguistic knowledge of the language in which the word is used. Whereas pragmatics focuses on, the communication of meaning through, the understanding of the context and of the speaker and the listener. So, in this respect, pragmatics explains how language users are able to overcome, kind of apparent ambiguities in the use of language, because the context provides clues for the understanding of that. Most of the times, the meaning relies upon how do you utter that, at what place, in which situation, and who is uttering that particular word or phrase or sentence. The meaning of the sentence depends on the understanding of the context and what the speaker means by that. Let me give you a quick example. So, for example, if I come to your place as a guest and you serve me tea and it is a very hot weather, and when I sip at the tea and I say, it is really cold, what does it mean? It can be a compliment in that situation. Maybe you have served me iced tea, and because it is very hot, when I say it really is cold, it means I am giving a compliment. I really like it. But if it is a wintry evening and I come to your place and you serve me tea, and it is, the typical traditional tea that is supposed to be hot, when you serve it to me and I say it is really cold, of course I am complaining that it is not good. It is not hot enough. So, the utterance that I used, it is really cold. It remains the same, but it is the context, it is the situation. Who am I? What kind of tea I have? What is the kind of context, whether it is summers or, or winters or what? That would help the person who has served the tea to understand whether it is a compliment or a complaint. I think after this example, you can think of further examples of what does pragmatic meaning mean. Now, what you also need to think about is, how would you relate the pragmatic meaning and, the studies in pragmatics to the development of a language? Well, as a matter of fact, in the study of language, particularly the development of language through different stages, we do not find much recorded instances of it, because pragmatics deals with practical meaning in a situation which is not generally recorded. Unlike the semantic meanings, for which we can find records, for instance, through Old English to the Middle English to the Modern English till today's times.